My hair's still really wet. Yeah. Hello, welcome or welcome back. I am coming to you on a beautiful rainy Wednesday, and I thought I'd really just brighten up this day by reading some 1-star reviews of my favourite books. I have a stack of just, well, not all my favourite books, but I picked out a lot of ones that I really love, and yeah, we're going to be looking at some 1-star reviews of them. I got this idea I've seen this video done before, but I got the idea that I wanted to do it myself because the other day I read a book which I really didn't like, and to kind of comfort myself I went to the 1-star reviews and just had a great old time reading through them, having my opinion like confirmed and like, you know, whatever. So I thought, okay, this could be a fun idea. I had a good time looking at those. Maybe I'll have a good time with this, because I feel like I don't usually take too much offense when people don't like the same books as me. I mean, like, especially people I don't know, does it really matter? Sometimes it's fun to just like talk a little bit of, you know, shit about your books you don't like. But I do think it should be kept respectful. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. I don't know if all these reviews have spoilers. I haven't gone through and checked, so I'd just say I think I'll put a timestamp in like somewhere on the screen for when each section is going to end, so like the book I'm talking about is going to end. So if you haven't read the book, I wouldn't recommend watching that part. Obviously you can use your own thought of which books are more likely to actually have spoilers, because like there's some just like, you know, like what is there really to spoil? It's a romance, you know. But then there's some like parts of series in here, so yeah, just use your own thought on that. We get into the first book and the first few reviews. So the first book, I just picked it up, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is one of my, well, it's my favourite Ali Hazelwood, probably my favourite romance. Like, this was top 3 books for me last year. Really love all of her books, really. Yeah, so first things first, we can see overall people seem to be pretty much in agreement with me, mainly 5 stars, 4 stars, very few 1 stars, but to be honest that's the case for all of them, so that doesn't really mean anything. So first review, oh god. I feel like I'm actually going to agree with a lot of these and then be like, yeah, but like it's kind of fun, isn't it? Okay. I just want to know why Ali Hazelwood is obsessed with the idea that being a woman in STEM is the most miserable possible experience. I'm not saying that there's not misogyny in STEM and or academia, but I also think that it's incredibly unhelpful to repeatedly say that if you're a woman in STEM, that you're going to be undermined, manipulated, gaslit, miserable and broke until the 6th form man with a giant dick comes and saves you. Oh god, okay. I see where they're coming from, but I don't think that, I didn't get the message that like being in STEM is like the most horrible thing in the world for women. Like, there's a lot of things that are horrible for women, but you can still find enjoyment in them, because I feel like you can like complain and bitch in like a fun way, and that's kind of what I got from it. It felt like just a confirmation of like, oh yeah, we're all in it together. I don't know, whatever, sure. Can she stop writing books about science and in general? Who gave this woman a laptop, and whoever it was, please delete her Word document app. That is harsh. Babe, just don't read it. You better not be reading any more of her books, because if you do, that is just self-harm, and that's not on her, that's on you. Oh god, this is a long one. DNF at 94%. I thought I could power through. You should have at 94%. Jeez. Okay. He's big, big, just about to break through the stratosphere. She's small, she's minuscule, she's a minuscule bean that you can't even see. This is so true. She hates white men. I mean, don't we all? I didn't mean that, okay? Don't get angry at me. That are successful. She can't trust them. He's a white man that is successful. She is in STEM. He is in STEM. He makes valid points. She blames him for her depressing life. Okay, well, these things don't correlate. God, people hate fun and joy and like anything. She loves cheese and Twilight. The millennial cringe in Ali's books is real, but for me personally, I like her level of millennial cringe. It's the perfect amount for me for it to just feel like homey, which is such a weird thing, but it does for me. She's so quirky. She's average, but she's beautiful. She's average, but well, we're all beautiful. So I don't know what you're trying to say there. He's just cute. You know, it sounds like an Ali Hazelwood book. There's no way her publishers are reading her books and not thinking about taking away her rights to copy and paste commands. I swear this is the exact same as The Love Hypothesis with different subplots and names. She can't keep getting away with this. Dr. Hazelwood, if you hate white men so much, make one of your love interests a POC, respectfully. Hey. She made points. Berkeley Publishing, I know Morse code. What does that mean? Is that a threat? I don't understand what that means. Maybe I'm dumb and I'm forgetting a detail from the book. Overall, this review seems lighthearted in good fun and it made me giggle. Copy, paste, change character names, submit. If you've read one Ali Hazelwood book, you've read them all. And is she wrong? Where were they wrong? I just like the copy and paste. I will read it again and again. This is literally me. My stupid brain couldn't handle all that science talk. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. That wasn't so bad. I feel like most of the criticisms on Ali's books I like fully understand and to a degree agree with, but like I don't dislike it about it because I like the formula she uses. I like that type of romance again and again. You know, I'd read her books again and again. I don't mind it. We came out of that pretty unscathed. Next, Magnolia Parks. Like, this is you either love it or you hate it. I feel like this is another one where I'll probably agree with a lot of the criticisms because it's not as if I don't have, like, I don't know if I have criticisms. I have criticisms of the character. I don't really have any criticisms for Jessa Hastings. We were a little bit less top heavy, I guess you could say, on this one. 3.78. Kind of a mid-range rating overall. It's attacking my eyes. Okay. I can enjoy toxic romance, but this is badly written. Okay, no, we disagree on that. Boring, repetitive. Okay, maybe I can take that. And ship with no chemistry. Yeah, waste of my time. BJ has to be one of the most annoying characters. Sorry, that was me. I ever read about. I won't continue reading this. Okay, honestly, protect your peace. That's fair. I really don't agree that it's badly written. I understand why people would say it's repetitive, especially the next one. I found Long Way Home to get a little bit like, okay, we're doing this again and again. But I think part of like what makes their relationship what it is the like constant back and forth and the repetition and doing the same things over and over again, like the insanity of that. I have a lot of regrets, ... Jail to the person who recommended me this book. You will answer for your crimes. Look at the shelved. My brain cells committed suicide. Cheaters don't deserve rights. Finished this in a day, and at what cost? I don't understand the hype surrounding this blowjob dude. Girlie should do better. Well, that is also understandable. Vivid description of BJ and Magnolia, guy who regularly gets his dick stuck in his PlayStation, and the sad girl who gets picked last in a gangbang. What? What? Okay, sure. This book is like a cancer on the body of literature. Jesus! Slowly destroying the integrity of good writing, characterization, and leaving behind a stinking mess of incomprehensible garbage. Throw it away before it infects your brain cells and drags you down with it. A cancer on the body of literature. Girl. I like this one. The only thing this book was good for was killing the spider in my bathroom. And to clarify, the 1 star is for how well this book worked as a weapon. That's not true because I don't think Goodreads lets you put less than a 1 star. So that's not what you put at 1 star. You put 1 star because you had to, because you wanted to write your review. That's what you put at 1 star. Okay, that's going to be the end of Magnolia Parks. Most of the reviews I'm finding are like 7 pages long, and at some point I really enjoy a short negative review. I enjoy like little no, like I enjoy just the little quips because I think that is more deserving than like this entire, unless you think that there's something like genuinely morally wrong and it's like not in a way of like the writers using that to show that that's morally wrong, you know what I mean? I can understand like having a lot to say about it in that context, but if it's genuinely just like I don't like this book, I personally don't think I would spend a long time crafting, because some of these like Goodreads reviews are so well written and put together, and I guess maybe that's people's hobbies and that's like, you know, fair enough. But me personally, I don't know if I would put that much time into something I didn't like that much and I thought was that bad. But hey, different strokes for different folks. Okay, next we have probably my favourite book in the Throne of Glass series. This is, I think, the 5th book. Straight for the middle, I just picked my favourite one. This one will have spoilers for the Throne of Glass series, just being extra. I wouldn't watch this part. Overall, 4.61 rating. That is, wow, very high. Look at the few negative outliers, and I'm officially done with this series. I will never care for Rowan or Aidan or Manon or any of the witches. I barely tolerate Aelin at this point, and when she said that Selena was dead, she meant it. Scratch that, I don't tolerate her. I don't even like her. Selena was the character I enjoyed. Okay, girl. The character I wanted to reclaim her throne and to love Cale through his misguided attempts at loyalty and duty, and to help him understand what that actually meant. Ugh. Why should she have to support him through his lack of support for her? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Help him understand what that actually meant. Like, why should she have to do that? She's got a lot of other shit to worry about. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to get heated about Aelin because Aelin's my fucking girl. She has enough on her hands without having to deal with Cale's hissy bitch fits. Sorry. I had to say it. But she's dead. Yeah. Okay. What? And Cale was destroyed to make what? And Cale was destroyed to make way in Aelin's heart for Rowan. And I will never understand his appeal, because honestly he's everything Aelin's hating Cale for in Fae form. Did we read this? So I'm out. It was fun while it lasted. There are, however, some wonderful new additions to the character list. Lysandra is by far my favourite. Yeah, love Lysandra. Oh, so in the same breath, Lysandra is by far my favourite. Arobynn as well. Huh. Kind of spooked by that. I will always fall for the charming psychopath. Well, girl, that's the point, innit? That's the point of the charm. I think what they said about Ted Bundy. That's fucking creepy. Like, let's not all act like Arobynn's relationship with Selena was not fucking with Aelin, sorry. With Aelin was not fucking creepy. His relationship with Lysandra was fucking illegal. How old was she when? I feel like it was illegal. In my mind it was illegal. Girl, bye. I roared as I climbed atop my wyvern and left the Throne of Glass fandom. I appreciate that review. Short, sweet, to the point. You are deserving of that opinion. I can see my girl Aelin's name and I'm scared. Okay. I could write about how Aelin / Selena / whatever she wants to be called, that was a weird thing to say, is quite possibly the most annoying character I ever had the displeasure of reading about. Ugh. Taste levels. Where? Sorry, that was mean. I could write about how ridiculous, out of character the characters behave. That sounds like your opinion, and to be honest, Miss Sarah J. Maas came up with the characters, so I think if anyone has a right to decide how they behave, it's Miss God. You know what I mean? She's literally God of that universe. I could write about how unnecessary it is for this series to be 6 freaking books long, babe. You've lost count. 9. It's 9. I'd read a 10th. Really, I could probably find something wrong with every single aspect of Queen of Shadows, but I'm not. Instead, I'd like to talk about trees. Yes, trees. A moment of silence for the trees who gave out their lives for this absolutely ridiculous, drawn-out, melodramatic, excessive, cringe-inducing, bloated excuse for a novel. This book is one hot mess. Okay. The worst book I've ever read in my whole entire life. Hashtag sorry not sorry. The OOC characters, the plot, without mentioning that stupid shit that made this book worse and worse. Sarah J. Maas screwed the series totally and don't know how will she get this shit together. Why do people not like Rowan? So Rowan then happened. Deep sigh. This is actually really interesting because this person also read it back in 2015. So maybe at the time when it came out, people were not here for that. That's an interesting tidbit that I wasn't aware of. Okay. That was a little bit more painful for me. I feel really, really protective over these characters, specifically my girl. But we got through it, moving along swiftly. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I personally love this book, love this series, but I do understand criticism of it. It's the same thing that I say about like the other ones. A lot of the reasons people probably don't like it are probably reasons I do like it. I never said that I had good taste. I said that I enjoyed the book. Actually, 4.44. That is overall a pretty good rating to me. For how long is this book? Look, I am team romance should be under 400 pages. So for me to say that I love this book, there's got to be something going right. Okay. Sorry, but this book gave me Wattpad 2.0 vibes. And while I liked that 5 years ago, I don't anymore. Hey, fair enough. Me personally, still into it. DNF, they're insufferable. Also, how are you doing? Slow burn that. But also insta love, couldn't stand one more second. I like that about it, like the pining of it. Oh whoa, this is a long one. Okay. Final tally for the number of times the female main character was described as tiny, small, frail. 90. That's a lot. This book turned into a hate read faster than Shannon could trip over herself in a pal. Hey. That's not nice, which is really saying something because that was happening every other scene for the entire 700 plus pages. Why in God's name was this so long? I liked the length. It was every single cliche you could think of in a teenage school romance repeated over and over and over. Not one thing happened that was interesting or unpredictable. There was a lot of interesting things happening. Yeah, they were happening over and over again, but I liked it. The only caveat is if you love sports romance, I do, take my review with a grain of salt because I do not. Okay, well there you go, girl. And honestly picked it up because I've seen it recommended so many times, but even if this is a genre you enjoy, there's got to be better books out there. Well, I don't know. Because this was so poorly written. I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I don't think this was poorly written. I've read bad writing. I know what it looks like, and I don't think this was it. This was very engaging. It might not be like the most beautiful prose you've ever read in your fucking life, but it's engaging, and that's something. DNF at 300 pages. I hate this book so much. I just can't. You didn't even get through half of it. No, to be fair, if you're not enjoying a book, I do think DNF it. First, the amount of times it mentions that she's too young for him. Gross, just gross. If someone's too young for you, please leave it at that. Okay, my thing with this is, because people say this, like, oh, the age gap's creepy. Okay, 2 years. 2 years. Let's be for real about it. Let's actually be for real for 5 minutes and not put our, like, offended hats on. Let's be for real for 2 seconds. 2 years. And the person who was saying she's too young was Johnny. Everybody else around him was looking at him like, Johnny, is it really that deep? Is it really that deep? And he's like, yeah, it is that deep. But is it? And I don't think anything even happened between them until she was over 16, right? Right? I could be wrong about that, but I'm kind of pretty certain about that. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. If I'm right, what are you yapping about? What are we all yapping about? Why are we all so angry about nothing? Whatever. Let's also mention the amount of times that I cringed, rolled my eyes, or had to put the book down because I just could not. Okay, because Jesus, it was a lot. Also the fake slow burn, it was literally insta love. I feel like we all get too like tropey sometimes, and it's like it just plays out how it's playing out. You don't need to like put everything into like a perfect package of what the trope is. I don't know. The writing is also not for me. It feels straight out of Wattpad. And what's wrong with that? Now, I won't lie, I can see the appeal and where somebody would enjoy it, but I'm not that somebody. No, it does not seem you are. I will not be returning to this book because I have enough self-respect to not torture myself like that. Goodbye, Johnny, and just bye, Shannon. God, what did Shannon do to you? Oh, this is not nice. Not nice. Shannon is such a pathetic crybaby. couldn't stand her one bit. Honestly, it's a miracle I finished this book. I seriously don't know why everybody on the internet says it's an amazing book. I thought it would get better further into story, but it didn't. Save yourself some time, don't read this one. Okay, so everyone's entitled to how they feel, but Shannon is such a pathetic crybaby. Have some compassion. Have some compassion for a girl. Wow, okay. Moving on. Next book we're looking at is Archer's Voice. This probably isn't like my top, but I really did love this book. When I read it, I understood where all the hype came from. And I'm interested to see what negative reviews people could have about this. I'm looking at the rating. We've got a 4.22, which is pretty good. Oh, shown me. I wish I could turn back time to the good old days when there was no fucking book talk to trick me into reading some cheesy ass books about some lame one-dimensional characters written by authors who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. What I would say to that, people love to complain about book talk and about the books recommended on book talk, but let me tell you this, TikTok's algorithm is no fucking joke. You are going to be served what you are looking at, what you're interacting with. There's a whole what's the thing you can press? Not interested. You see a book that you know, this is not the kind of thing that I usually like. Not interested. Not interested. Go follow creators who are recommending books that you know that you would like, that you know that you have read and enjoyed. Your TikTok is your oyster. The world is your oyster. Yeah, maybe look at yourself a little bit when you're like thinking, why am I getting recommended all these books that I know I won't like? Maybe you're interacting with things in a way, maybe you're commenting, why do people keep recommending this book? Like, whatever, sending it to people, blah, blah, blah. And then you question why you're getting similar books up on your book top. Go follow creators who you like their stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? People love to complain and hate watch, and that's fine, but if you want to hate watch, then you're gonna get served stuff to hate watch. Me personally, that's not my tea. So I usually get recommended books that I enjoy. Did I really read the same book as everyone else? Am I really seeing the mind-baffling almost 5-star rating this book has? To answer my question myself, because I obviously can't trust anyone anymore, I did and I am, and fuck everyone for it. I hate all of you and I hate myself for wasting time on this book. Okay. I hate you, all of you, and I hate myself. I'm sorry, but this was stupid as fuck. Hey, honestly, these are the kind of, like I said, these are reviews I just find funny. I'm sorry, but this was stupid as fuck. It is so bad I want to give you a 0, but that's no possible. No. It does kind of make me a little bit smiley when people are like commenting negatively about books, especially when they're like, this author's writing is so bad, and then they make a spelling error. But it's fine. I can't say that. I get my words wrong all the time. Okay. And it's so bad I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible, so I give you a 1.5 stars. You didn't need to give a 1.5 stars. You could have given a... whatever. Best review of the entire video. No! Just no! No! Next, The Naturals. This is like a 4.75 series for me, and I love a good YA mystery. I absolutely ate this up. Loved pretty much everything about it, but I can also acknowledge like the goofiness and like some of, you know, the things that people might not like about it. So yeah, we're looking at a 4.19 overall rating, which is pretty good. Do you need to be an asshole? Do you need to be an asshole to be a natural? Well, yes. Well, yes. They're teenagers. Teenagers are assholes. Like, you're not going to get around that. Whoa, I picked long ones for this. Okay. Definitely wouldn't have picked up this book if I wasn't reading it for book club. I wish I was in a book club. That's so cute. I read this author's Raised by Wolves series. Haven't heard of that. Maybe need to look into it. Some years before, so I wasn't too hesitant going in. But after a couple chapters, oh boy. For one, this book seemed so ... hollow. I didn't understand what the purpose of anything was, and it just kept spiraling. The characters seemed more like tropes than anything. Okay, I can understand that. The main character, the angsty, broody boy, the more easygoing boy, the bad girl, and the quirky girl. Yeah, that's fair enough. These are the characters that make up 90% of the team, and I'm so tired of it. One thing I will say to that is, like, this is the first book. I feel like going through the series, you see a bit more character development from the other characters and, like, breaking out of, like, because, you know, you can have a first impression of someone. How long is this book? It's about 300 pages. You're not going to get a full look at every single character, all the side characters, like full personalities, you know? But I understand where that comes from. This series is marketed as Criminal Minds for teens, and it is no way... No, my Siri just came up.
I can't help you with that on Mac.
Series is marketed as a Criminal Minds for teens, and it is in no way messed up or suspenseful enough for that distinction. I disagree. First off, for teens, we don't want it to be it's a YA, like we can't get too crazy. And also I found it to be suspenseful and creepy. I read this late at night and I felt a little bit of a shiver down my spine. They only start going after the murderer pretty much 70% into the book, which makes for a pretty slow middle. I mean, it's 300 pages. I was waiting for something to happen, but it kept going at a snail's pace. I read this in one night. I'm sorry, I do not agree with that. Have I mentioned how I loathe love triangles? Okay, well, because I do a lot. They always try to make it so you don't know what the lead is going to end up with, but it's always painfully obvious. Hint, hint, it's always the broody one. Why? I'll never know. I agree with that. I'm definitely not going to be continuing with this series. It's not worth it. Okay. I have never been happier to finish a book. Let's start with the reasons this book gave me the ick. Unnecessary love triangle. Cassie, that has a personality of plain paper, managed to get 2 guys liking her. It didn't seem that hard. They pretty much just flocked, to be truthful. She met the boys. Maybe they're just fickle. That could be on them. She met the boys a few days ago, kissed one in Truth or Dare, and she guessed the other guy's favourite eggs, and now I'm supposed to believe they both like her already. Have you ever met teenagers? It doesn't take much. Okay. Side characters. Dean being mysterious and the lonely guy, and Michael the fuckboy, and Leah who just exists to be sexy. Whoa, she's a teenager. That was a weird thing to say. Sloane, who is the most useless one. My girl is just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to spell some random facts that has no use. I think if the FBI in that book discovered Google, I'm afraid Sloane might lose her job. Bad take. Okay, I can only say the last 10 to 15% of the book is where the plot existed, but still I can only give this book 1 star. Good for you. Really dumb. True. No one said that this was intelligent. 1.5 at best. Underdeveloped characters, laughable mystery, and murder reveal. I actually thought that the murder reveal was pretty decent. I'm usually not, like, I can usually figure it out, and that shocked me, so pew. Unbelievable childish love triangle. They're teenagers, like, of course it's childish. Dialogues were whack, and everyone seems to just know exactly what the other person thinks is going to say at all times. Well, that's like that's part of the whole naturals thing, you know? I mean, it's not realistic, but it's like the whole concept of the book. Did you not read the fucking blurb? We have all the Wattpad tropes and stereotypical characters present, as well as the Wattpad writing, aka the I'm different girl, the mysterious dark teen boy, the boy that's certainly going to fall into the friend zone, etc. Can't believe this book doesn't fall short of endless positive reviews. I'm assuming mostly by people that typically don't read thriller mysteries. Ooh. Ooh. Do you read lots of thrillers and mysteries? Ooh. Next we have dun, 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 Fourth Wing. You either love it or you hate it. I personally love it. I even like Time Flame, guys. I'm here for the series. I'm nervous about the next book, but I enjoyed it. It has a 4.59 rating, which is pretty positive, but I know that people that don't like it with a passion, so we'll see. Okay. There's a valuable lesson to be learned here, and it's that when you see the entire Goodreads community read and 5 stars the same book, you run as fast as you can in the other direction. Or maybe you're just boring, you hate joy and light. I don't know. Sorry. I especially enjoyed the mediocre writing, boring love story, and the this might as well happen plot, where an allegedly frail and weak character is at the same time overpowered as fuck and gets everything handed to her on a silver platter. 0 stars. Okay. You didn't like it. That's okay. Some of you are about to be real mad at me, but this is awful. Also, if this is enemies to lovers, then oh, how mighty have fallen. Yeah, it wasn't giving, like, I hear that. The amount of time I cringed was insane. I'd rather stick molten hot needles in my eyes than read sequel. Side note, ratings for this book give me Sound of Freedom vibes. I don't know what that is. How does first time fantasy author get from May to August so many reviews and almost all 5 stars? Too much sus. That is a valid point. Who had a gun to the head of everyone who rated this 5 stars? Me! You better get back to that rating. You better switch it up. Just kidding. That wasn't a real threat. Reread so I could give this book the 1 star it truly deserves. What do you mean you reread it? This is what I mean when I say you enjoy hating. Which is fine, actually. If you want to enjoy hating, then at least you have a hobby. Who would reread a book that they thought was a 1 star? Just to, like, publicly say, I reread it and I know it's a 1 star. There's a target audience for this, and I'm not it. But even if you're part of the target audience, I think it's okay to admit when a novel is poorly written, no. I hear that. I think that's fair enough. Did I think it was poorly written? For me, no. It's like, what do we mean when we say poorly written? If I had a good time, if I found like the writing really like captured me, I couldn't stop turning the page, is that poorly written to me? No, it's not. Oh, this is our lowest review. This only has 12,800 reviews. This is Consider Me by Becca Mack, my absolute all-time favourite hockey romance. Let's see what people have to say. I really love this book, so this is another one which I feel kind of like protective of, I guess. Okay. Girl who makes her short height her entire personality. Boy who chases her around like a dog. True, because he's used to getting girls easily. True. So original. I've not read what I read in this book before, and I've not been able to replicate it since. So for me, it was pretty... I don't know if original's the right way, but the best version of what it was. Maybe not original, but the best version of that I've ever read. I feel sad for the trees. God, we all feel sad for the trees. But we don't do anything about it, do we? We just feel sad. Okay. What was that? I really just came out with violence then. So sorry. These that were cut down to make the paper for this stupid fucking book. Yes, it took me 11 months to finish this losh. Well, then why did you finish it? So sorry. Why did you... So sorry. That's just, like, silly to me. Why would you finish it? DNF at 22%. Okay, fair enough. If you don't like it, DNF it. It's hard for me to explain why I dropped this book because I found myself enjoying reading it. However, Carter does not feel like a real man. Well, thank God for that. Thank God for that. His POV is not believable at all, and it's way too obvious that he's a man written how women want men to think and act. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm going crazy. I know this is hypocritical because duh. Yeah, that's why we all read romance books, but in this one, it's just way too obvious. He was just too good. I found myself rolling my eyes one too many times. Okay. Also, this repetitive description of how tiny and small Olivia is. Okay, so maybe it's true. And how she's super fucking skinny, but also curvy with huge tits. Oh my God. Okay, well, and Ass got me face palming in real life. I like the trope and I see why people like this, but to me it's just a little too whopadish. Okie dokie. DNF, 80% him calling his dick his sword of thunder really ruined the entire book for me. Look, if other men in books did half of the things and said half the things that Carter says, I would not be able to read it, but for me, he can. I don't know why, and that's probably a me thing. I need to understand that, and that's fair enough. I'd rather read a 900k self-insert fanfiction written by an 11-year-old than suffer one more reference to the Sword of Thunder. My new favourite book, Funny Story by Emily Henry. I just finished this like a couple days ago, literally, and absolutely loved it. Rated it 5 stars. It's like top 2 Emily Henrys for me. Rating 4.37, so that's pretty good. So let's see. Oh, I love this. We've got a Kris Jenner meme. I don't want to talk about it, so I won't. The kind of reviews that I enjoy. I don't want to talk about it, so I won't. Hey, girl, that is so fair enough. Don't you love it when the only personality trait the MCs have is that they got dumped? Okay, well, I don't agree. Did you get past, like, the first 40 pages? Emily did us dirty with this one. I am personally victimized by how poorly thought through this story is. The best way I can explain it is it feels like she was uninspired but had a deadline, so she threw a few ideas down, leaned into a few basic tropes, and then added a lot of filler to fill a whole book worth of pages. I just agree, but that's okay. First of all, a cripplingly insecure 35-year-old librarian is simply not who I want to lead an Emily Henry book. Well, good. It's not your fucking choice, is it, Miss Ma'am? What's wrong with an insecure 35-year-old librarian? That's rubbed me up the wrong way. Or any book. Second of all, every single element of this story feels half-baked. The mom, who isn't warm but is her best friend. People are multifaceted, Miss Girl. So sorry. The dad who isn't relevant but then becomes the core storyline. Not the core storyline, but that's fine. The long-distance friend who is also mostly irrelevant but takes up most of the epilogue. Stupid. The way Daphne and Miles initially get together is admittedly pretty silly, but the reactions their story elicits from every character are just unhinged. Hysterical, doubled over laughter, unable to catch their breath. Who does that? Maybe I'm forgetting something. No, it's amusing at best, immature and idiotic at worst. The only redeeming quality to this story is the adorable Miles, who seems sweet and hot and thoughtful, even if totally hypocritical. What did he do? If not for him, I would not have finished. For one Emily Henry lover to another, skip this one. No. Okay, next review. Okay, this book was not it. Daphne is so caught up on her ex and blames him for every single little thing. If your fiance did to you what he did, would you not have a little bit of blame in your heart? Would you not want to have a little bit of a moment of anger there? Okay, whatever. Have some independence and get out of there and live your own life and stop letting him control it while living rent-free in your head. He doesn't deserve to be thought about anymore. That's really, really easy to say, but that's not reality, is it, Miss Girl? If we could all just, like, take out the people in our lives that really hurt us and not think about it, I'm sure that we would. But the whole thing is that they really hurt you, and that leaves effects. Sorry, that was so annoying, but that was a stupid thing to say. Sorry. I understand that getting dumped after following him sucks. I really do. No, you don't. You clearly don't. But you can't blame the fact that you don't have friends or literally even a small inconvenience on him. I don't think she's blaming that on him. I think she's acknowledging that her entire life just became his. She just clung onto his life. She's not blaming him for that. She's saying that's what happened. However, this book felt more like a superficial romance novel rather than the deep story she typically writes. This book did not meet my expectations. Well, your review did not meet mine, so... The romance was bland, the characters' relationship lacked chemistry, and the story just didn't do it for me. Okay. Moving on. Final book, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I read this last summer. I absolutely loved it. So what people have to say, it's got a 4.22 overall rating, which is pretty good. She writes that as like I did when I was heartbroken at 13 over my Minecraft boyfriend. Well, girl, you've got talent then. You need to invest in that hobby and you could really make something out of it. Here we go. The world building is so bad. At some point, the main male character says he loves summer, but because it's when baseball season is back. Does baseball not happen in summer? Okay. I don't know anything about baseball. They use lifts and have electricity, but use typewriters. I think. Okay. I'm pretty sure Divine Rivals is set in like a... Well, I can look it up. Let's look these things up. In an alternate 1940s Europe. Okay, 1940s. When were lifts? The 1870s. Okay, so we understand why there were lifts. Typewriters. Okay. Typewriters were a standard fixture in most offices up until the 1980s. Okay, so like 40 years past when this book is set. So, all makes sense. Silly Billy, silly little Billy. The war resembles the fighting strategies they'd used in World War One, and there's magic and gods. This is true. Oh, okay, now I can explain this to you. This is fictional. This isn't a, like, reenactment of real world events. Rebecca doesn't think that, like, magic and gods was, like, a part of, you know, some sort of war that happened historically. The romance is horrible. The dialogue is so cheesy and cringe. It doesn't even allow you to have cozy fun read. It's just strange. Every single chapter sets something that brings you out of the story. I do not understand the hype. I think we need to start reading more to acclaim. Better books, because being over 25 and having this as a major literary favourite is just bad. One thing that I really dislike is when people are like uppity about books. It's like, okay, so maybe for you it is a lower level book. I feel like this is YA also. Yeah, okay, so it's a YA romance. Because being over 25, well, it's a YA. It's written for a younger audience. We can still enjoy it being older than that. But you also should probably acknowledge that maybe it wasn't written with you in mind. Sorry, whatever. So all the girls on Book Talk that recommended to read this after Fourth Wing, I hate you. Woo! I mean, they are very different. I hear that. Very different. Feeling bamboozled, lied to, led astray. Stunted narration and cheesy dialogue, really bland characters with an elaborate hidden identity romance which was resolved really poorly. World building that never made any sense, horrible pacing. How do you manage to have a war happening in the background of your story and make it boring? Nothing about this worked for me, and I wish I had just committed to the DNF. Yeah, if you don't like it, you should probably DNF it. Okay, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. The writing was pretty, but I'm also pretty. At least I have something to offer. Okay, so that's gonna be the end. I hope that we can take this entire thing with a pinch of salt. If you go and like see these reviews, find these reviews, don't comment anything back, like mean or negative, because everybody is entitled to their opinion at the end of the day. I'm entitled to my opinion that your review is wrong. You're entitled to your opinion that your review is your review. No bad ill to anybody in this. I mean, I've not included anybody's names, but you know. I think having any kind of opinion about any book that you want to have, put it out there, is completely fair enough. The only thing that I ever really take issue with is when people are mean to other people about how they feel about books. So equally in me saying like, I think your review's wrong and this is stupid, blah 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 blah, I don't think you're wrong, I don't think you're stupid. It's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, anyway, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Bit negative. I'm not usually a negative Nancy, but today I was, and I'm gonna put a pin in it now and go and watch some good TV or something and not think about all the people that hate the books I love. It doesn't honestly really affect me at all that people don't like the books I love. I feel like some people get really upset and offended by it, which is why there gets like anger happening. I don't usually feel that mad. Like I can like read it and be like, that's annoying, or like I don't agree with that, but it doesn't actually like bring much emotion up for me. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.